This is Blanca, and we are live with the Laws of Sex. And here's your host, the beautiful Dr. Stacy Friedman.
Good evening, everybody. Today is going to be a good show because I've gotten a few questions today that made me realize what I wanted to talk about. So let's get the show started, and we will see how everybody's doing tonight, and feel free to join in. One of the ways I get my subjects are from my Facebook group, which I have right here. It's actually women's only. It's called Intimacy, Sex, and Empowerment. And we have a lot of great women on there sharing great ideas, sharing questions, sharing funny memes. It's a very nice group of people to be able to chat back and forth with. So that's where I get a lot of my subjects from.
There's a lot of engagement in that group. If you're looking for a group where you can talk about sex, intimacy issues amongst women, it's really amazing. And people are asking a lot of honest questions from the heart, and Dr. Friedman's answering those questions judgment-free.
Oh, absolutely. The group is great. There's no judgment. People are saying, oh, I'm so glad for this group because I can ask this question and not feel judged. So go on to Facebook. If you're a woman, Intimacy, Sex, and Empowerment. And we are very accepting for the LGBTQ community. So anybody who is identifying as a woman as well is included.
So, okay, wonderful.
So let's start.
I love it. So what is on the agenda tonight?
Well, my quote for tonight is a pair of sexy legs. This is actually from Sophia Loren, and it's actually a quote in my book that I put in there because I just found it awesome, which basically it says sex appeal is 50% what you've got and 50% what people think you've got.
Ooh, I like
love that because that just goes to show that it's not all about appearances. Sex appeal, which happens to be the subject of tonight, sex appeal is more about what you're portraying to others, what they see from you. So it's not all about what you got. You know, it's what people think you got. And I think that comes with confidence. What do you think?
Well, I think that sexual appeal is totally a byproduct of confidence and being fired up. I mean, I think I think you can be objectively, aesthetically an attractive person, but if you don't have texture, if you don't have charisma, if you don't have connection, eye contact, heart contact, you know, I mean, you got to have some moves too, some dance moves, don't you?
Dance moves are helpful. Dance moves are helpful.
But I mean, it's the mind. Isn't the mind what makes us sexy?
It is what Dr. Ruth says, the 6 inches between your ears are the best 6 inches.
I just wish that I just wish people would have made that clear to us when we were younger.
I know.
And I wish that we would make that clear to younger kids because we're just so damn looks obsessed. And to me, looks are just so unimportant in the grand scheme.
Absolutely. And, you know, sometimes you'll see people with somebody that you look at them, and you're like, how could they be with that person? They're too tall, they're too short, they're too heavy, they're too thin, all these kind of things. It's about sex appeal. Now, if you go to the next slide, this, believe it or not, was probably sexy to somebody one day or another. I saw
things that make you go,
I saw that picture and I was like, okay, well, you know, for me, it's not necessarily sexy.
Listen, he's got a good foundation. There's some nice legs there. You know what kills it? The hairdo.
The mullet. I don't know. There's a little bit more that kills it, such as that picture in general. but
if you just cut that top, chop the block off, the rest is okay.
Right. But he's got confidence and he's showing it, and that's appealing for some.
I love your sense of humor. It's so much fun. By the way, someone who shall remain unidentified loved the cucumbers that you exhibited last week. They said it was an incredible show last week.
Those were actually zucchinis.
Excuse me, zucchinis.
But hey, I got another one today. As a matter of fact, every Thursday I get a variety box of veggies, and I have a nice box of big, juicy veggies.
I love it. I love
Tonight
it.
I decided to leave them in the box.
There
But
you go.
no, that's a good thank you for the veggies.
You're
So what is
welcome.
sex appeal? And basically it's just the ability of a person to incite sexual arousal in another human being. It's something that you can't necessarily pinpoint. It's an intangible characteristic. Some people just have it, some people don't. But one of the questions I get is, it's something you can learn? Absolutely. But some people are a little more reserved or a little bit more out there, and it just depends on what you're willing to do or what you're willing to change about yourself or adjust to be able to have some of that sex appeal. And you can just see in some of these pictures, I just thought, like the one picture on the left, just the fact that she had a little bit of that eye, sexy eye with the little lip bite, and the other guy is just, nicely, cleanly shaven with just a little, what is it called? The goatee or whatever he's got on him. The other one is in a long pajama top these things can be very sexy. So it's just about certain characteristics about a person. You just can't necessarily pinpoint exactly, but they just have the sex appeal.
I like it. I like it. But you're right. Those eyes make an impact on
It's
me.
the
Eye
puppy eyes.
contact. Hello, people. Wake up. Wake up. You know what's sexy? Somebody that's actually engaged in the art
Waking
of
up.
life. Like, I like people that get excited, you know?
That is actually one of the things we talk about. It has to do a lot with personality too. And so people who are, like you said, engaged or involved or communicative, that can be very sexy. But in the next one, it talks about some of the elements that you find attractive in people.
And I want to give a big shout out to Tam Taylor, my friend from Panama City, who is extremely sexy, for the record. She joked in the live chat, no sex appeal. Yes, you are. Don't you ever forget it. And a movie.
She needs confidence, because that will give her sex appeal immediately.
And Tam is an award-winning actress. She won a Telly Award for her reality television show. And
Congrats.
I want to thank, you got a lot of people watching. Morgan Etheridge, Cheryl Capobianco from The Laws of Fashion, Frank Barbieri, David Ballmer, George D'Ambrosio, Diane Klein, Liliana Alberti. Hola, Liliana. Liliana was my daughter's nanny 20 years ago.
Hi.
And of course, Tam Taylor.
Thank you all for watching.
Just wanted you to know, a lot of people are really enjoying your show.
That's awesome. And you know what? Hopefully people will go home from this show learning a little bit about sex appeal and coming back as a different man or woman.
That's right. That's right.
But the next page talks about some of the elements of being attractive, of what people find attractive. And one of them is smell. How you smell, your cleanliness. People have their own pheromones, and some people are attracted to certain smells. And so if you keep yourself with good hygiene, that is something that people can find attractive. Sometimes you could have somebody just walk by you and not even realize, you're like, what's that smell? They smell good, and so all of a sudden you're immediately attracted to somebody because of the smell. The next maybe voice pitches, the sound of the voice, the facial features, financial stability, and kissing. Those are 5 different elements of attractiveness. So as we go, I'll go through some of them a little bit more specifically, but the first one is smell. So if you go to the next slide, you'll see a cute little puppy dog with a nose. Because you know that dogs obviously like people or don't like people according to their smell. So it's kind of something similar where women, especially around ovulation, they secrete a hormone called the pheromone called copulin, and that can attract a male. And when the man finds the woman, they release androstenone, right? Is that how you say it? And that keeps people who are not ovulating away. And that's kind of like that, how life is, how people are attracted to right around ovulation, where just same thing with animals, like they get, animals are attracted to other animals right around ovulation time.
Interesting.
So
smell. Well, I mean, let's be candid. Smell is an important factor in assessing the attractiveness of another person. I mean, even, to be, if somebody wears a cologne that's too strong or too powerful, it can really be a turnoff. Even if you're,
Right.
even if it's a non-romantic. Have you ever been around someone that just has one of those colognes that's so strong, like you can't even talk
You
to
can't
them?
breathe because you're afraid to suck the smell in.
Exactly. So no, that's a good point. Good reminder.
Yes, smell can definitely be. And then the next one we talk about is voice pitch. And that could be for men and women. But, a lot of people sometimes will hear a voice, and the voice literally has a decibel that resonates or vibrates through your body with some energy that you are attracted to. So you may look at someone and they may not necessarily be as attractive as you would want or that you would be attracted to, but then they start talking, and then all of a sudden you're like, God, that voice is hot, or that voice is sexy. Or you have the women on the sex phone calls, you call up the sex chat, and they have beautiful voices. So the voice pitch has a lot to do with some of your sex appeal also.
No question. And don't forget, foreign accents too can sometimes have an impact as well.
Yeah, and some foreign accents people may not be attracted to. Someone may like the Spanish accent and someone may not like the French accent, or vice versa, or whatever, or just may make them look different according to what you're attracted to. So
true.
And the next one is facial features. And the reason why I picked Zach is because he's practically perfect in any way. I mean, the facial features, a lot of times they look at where things are similar on both sides. So the eyes are about the same, the eyebrows are about the same, the nose shape is about, so the more symmetrical your face is, they say that the more attractive people may find you. So that's where the facial features become in for being attractive.
Without a doubt. Do we have to change slides? I really like.
I know, and he's been looking good. He's got that new Netflix show, and I'm just like, wow, where did little baby Zac Efron go? Okay, he's a man. Financial stability. I know this is a little bit of a long page, but Dr. Laura Berman, she's a sex therapist. And basically, it's not saying that people are gold diggers. It's just talking about evolution, that when we are having babies and we had to depend on other people because the women were having the children, we weren't able to hunt and take care of the kids without the men doing it. So when a man has a little bit more financial stability, the women may find it attractive just biologically because they're like hunting for the food and the shelter and all that kind of stuff. So I think that helps with the financial stability. But doesn't mean that women are gold diggers. It just means that you may find them more attractive. There are some women obviously who are, but that's kind of where people may find that stability attractive.
Well, you know what it is about just one point on financial stability. Yeah. It's not necessarily the stability. I think it's actually the confidence. So success is sexy. It's the success and that independence and that self-assurance that you've met goals that you've achieved. And whether it's in a man or a woman, it's attractive.
Well, it's attractive also because if you're planning on being in a relationship with this person, even if you yourself are financially stable and are successful, you know that you will be in a good situation, that your partner, if God forbid something happens to you, knowing that your partner can take care of you, knowing that your partner has your back. And I think that that's kind of where it comes from, with that confidence in that person.
Absolutely. It's interesting. I've never looked at it in this context altogether. So it's very interesting how you've compiled these factors.
Kissing, and that is Channing Tatum. He's another one of my favorites. It's in that movie, oh my God, The Trust, or I can't remember the name of the movie. Sorry. But kissing is also something that is a high rate of attractiveness, because if you find someone attractive and you kiss them, and then they're not that good of a kisser, or you don't have that chemistry with them, your attractiveness towards them, the way you feel towards them as far as how attractive they are, actually decreases.
Oh, are you kidding me? If someone is not a good kisser, it's over.
Well, if
Now,
Channing is not, I'd still probably stay with him.
no,
But-
no, no. Okay, this happened to me in
Oh
school.
yeah.
I went out with this guy. He was 6'5". He was stunningly handsome, and I'm not even exaggerating. Okay, he was so good looking, and then he turned out to be the worst kisser, and he had no confidence, and it was just like terrible.
It does change how you feel about the person a lot. Can you teach kissing?
Well, that was
Sometimes,
my
yes.
next question. You must be psychic or something. Well, you're the sex coach. Could a good kisser be taught?
It can be tricky, but yes, possibly, because some people are a little sloppier. Some people don't know that, you don't want to stick your tongue in and out, in and out. You want to maybe move it in a little bit of a circular motion, how to be a little bit more passionate. I had someone that came in, honestly, probably about a year ago, and one of the things that they were embarrassed to tell their partner, one of the reasons why they didn't really want to have sex, because that kissing made them lose that attractiveness,
Wow.
attraction. I'm like all tied in tongues today. Lose their attraction to their partner.
No, of course. I mean, a bad
And that's
kiss
what
is
they said. They
total
said that
turn
the
off.
tongue was like constantly in and out, in and out, in and out.
But you know what? You shouldn't have even been having sex until you get the kissing worked out, people.
Oh,
One
really?
base at a time. I mean, if they can't master the kiss, you don't jump into bed. First, like master one category at a time. Does the audience agree with me? Should you wait to have sex until the person's perfected the art of the kiss? That would be an interesting audience
I may
question.
have to disagree.
You you disagree with me. So wait a minute. If so, you're gonna have sex with a guy that's a terrible kisser? Seriously?
Well, what if they know how to move their body and they know how to rub it in the right spots and they know how to, you're not, if you have to moan and scream when you have an orgasm, you're not kissing them.
I see. So what you're saying is it's not a necessary element for your satisfaction.
It definitely helps. It definitely helps.
Well, I'm asking the audience, who do you agree with? Blanca or Stacy? Well, so I'm trying to get we are getting a lot more engagement in our audience. I'm so proud of you, audience. You're getting engaged in the chat. And Tam said success is a huge turn on, which I totally agreed with, going back to that conversation. Will you have sex with a bad kisser? Let's open it up to the audience. But moving right along, these are very important elements of sex appeal. I like how you're breaking it down.
I think it's definitely something helpful to have the good kissing, but it depends. I mean, if you're in a long-term relationship and the person can't kiss, yes, it's going to make a difference. If you're just having fun and it's friend with benefits and you just want to get some, it may not really matter. Just depends on what you're looking at.
You know what, you're right. It's a contextual analysis, I suppose.
Right.
Other elements. Ooh,
so these are some elements that bring about sex appeal. Like we were talking about, the dynamic attractiveness are things such as your character, your face, walking into a room and having a big smile on your face, having the expressive eyes, looking at someone from across the room with a little bit of that sexiness, being upbeat, like you were talking about your personality, being fired up, being excited, just your body language, how you move. I mean, if you're going to stand in a room like this, you're not going to have the sex appeal. But if you stand in a room, they always tell you when you take pictures, put your tits out.
I never heard that before.
Yeah. Stand there with confidence. Stand there with your shoulders back, with your chest out. Walk in a room, smile, eye contact. People are going to look at you and they're going to be like, wow, that shows confidence. That person's strong. That person's, attractive. Let me go talk to them. Let me see what they're all about. Another thing is that people who like you, when you have somebody that really likes you, a lot of times you find them attractive because when someone likes you, they're either nicer, they're kind, or they're smiling more, they're looking forward to being with you more, taking time to call you, do things. You find them attractive because they like you. That's something.
True. Well, that feeling of, you're right, that feeling of connection. And if someone gives you that attention and they look like they're interested in what you're saying, then you are going to be more attracted to them because they're engaging. It's that eye contact again.
Right.
And the true listening. Listen to what people are
listening. Yeah, they say that they give you 2 ears and 1 mouth, 2 ears for listening more often than you speak. And basically, when you're a good listener and someone else is talking with you, you're going to find out that they want to know about you. It just finds them more attractive because they're more engaged. They're more interested in who you are. And another thing is just your self-appearance, how you look. You make sure you brush your hair. Some people put makeup on, some people don't, but I know I have to have makeup on. Otherwise, if I did not, then you'd be like, okay, there's no sex appeal in that. But anyway, I'm
sure you'll look beautiful au natural.
Au natural. But that's what it's also about, is just feeling good about yourself, making sure that when you leave the house, you put on decent clothes. Obviously, if you're trying to, find people. I do that. I talk a lot about this with dating. These are important things.
Without a doubt. Well, they help you remember how to stay in line. So that's good.
Right. And then the next page is, people have asked, well, how do I boost my sex appeal? How do I, help get in that zone? And so I just kind of scattered around some things. A lot of people like touch. That is a very big love language for many people. So even if you're doing something like flirting, you're like, oh, come on, stop. Or, you're grazing the person's arm, or you're touching their back, just some type of little touch makes you feel a little closer to the person, which makes you feel a little bit more attractive, which boosts your sex appeal. Same thing with smelling good. Put on a nice cologne. There's a lot of colognes that have pheromones in them. That look of lust, where you kind of, I don't know if I'm going to do it, if I'm going to look sexy or stupid.
Wait, let me see this. Hold on. Let's see your sexy look. Let's see.
Oh gosh, here we go.
That's pretty good.
It's a little better when I have someone, in front of me that I'm ready to devour.
It's hard to capture that. It's hard to capture that.
It is.
The problem is I try to look sexy, but then I wind up looking more cutesy. It's hard. Like I just did all these photos and I was trying to look sexy and I was like, I don't look sexy in these pictures. I totally didn't achieve the outcome.
That, it is tricky to do it in pictures, but I'll tell you, many times when I'm looking at my fiance and he just looks at me, he goes, God, he goes, you're giving me chills. I feel like I'm just going to be devoured any minute. It's
That's good.
Look of lust that you can offer someone when you're really feeling it.
We have a question. We have a question from the audience. Tam Taylor, Telly Award winning actress. And Tam says, where can women go when they're over 50 to meet men who would find them attractive?
It is difficult sometimes when you have some of the older individuals who are looking for younger women, because there are a lot, but then you also have some younger women that are looking for older women. So it depends on kind of what age group you're looking for. I mean, unfortunately right now with COVID situation, everyone is just meeting people online and getting to know people, which I say unfortunately, but could be fortunate because you're really getting to know the person. But it's tricky. It's tricky nowadays to be able to get out and just meet people, but you don't want to just go to bars. You don't want to go to clubs. A lot of people
go digital, baby. It's a numbers game. You got to collect those applications.
It's
yes, no, yes. Then narrow it down to 10 yeses and then have an online Zoom date with each of those yeses, then narrow it down to another 5. That's my philosophy.
Well, that's kind of like the dating shows that they have now. That's kind of what they're doing, is they're, saying, oh, well, I'll take you out to dinner. And if we connect, you go and you have a Zoom meal.
But you know what else you could do? You could go on a social, after you narrow it down, Tam, to a couple of candidates, like maybe 2 or 3, you can go on a socially distanced walk on the Panama City beach, since Tam lives in Panama City, woohoo, to North Florida. So go for a socially distanced walk on the beach and have a socially distant glass of champagne and some socially distant chocolate covered strawberries. What do you think?
I think those are
great. Your eyes lit up when I said that.
I do. I think those are great ideas, but I think that online dating right now is really where it's at, unless you have friends that know somebody. A lot of people say, oh, I know someone that lost their partner. I know someone that broke up. I know someone that got divorced. A lot of times that at that age, once you're in the 50s and higher, it's nice to be connected with people that other people know. So that where there's this familiarity, which automatically can bring a little bit of sex appeal because you know that that person is probably a good person.
That is true. Introductions, and Cheryl made a good point. Biking is a great thing to do with people. I love that idea.
Distancing, yep. Laying by the pool, the beach, things like that. Yeah.
I like it. I like it. We got to get creative. But what we have to do is support each other. So get the opinions of your friends on the date. Get some feedback.
Right. But online is the way it is right now. That's where I met my fiance, is online. So
which, are you willing to tell us which site?
I can't.
Okay.
If I tell you, I'll have to tell you.
No problem.
We met on a site that was all about just friends with benefits because we were both getting out of our marriages at the exact same time. And so it was one of those where we were not planning on being together. We just wanted to have a good time. We were just in the middle of divorces. And so we weren't really ready for anything serious, which I think also has a lot of sex appeal, is when you meet someone that doesn't have the expectations and the pressure to put on a partner to say, I want something right now. Are you that, we waited at least a probably good year and a half before we even called each other boyfriend, girlfriend. So
that's a long time.
Yeah.
But you know what? You were on the same timetable. It's all about being on the same timetable. And that's awesome.
But I know eHarmony, Match.com, a lot of people met on those that I know that have successful relationships.
That's really cool. No, listen, I'm a total fan of online dating. That's how I met my fiance. And it was great. It's to me that is the best way to do it. Go digital, make the magic happen, but you got to put the time into it.
Absolutely.
So I see you are a fan of Dr. Laura Berman.
I love Dr. Laura Berman. She has a lot of great information. And one of the sex facts I thought was very important to help with relationships is that kissing is a direct indicator of happiness. And it turns out they say that couples who kiss and cuddle regularly are 8 times less likely to be stressed and depressed than couples who don't get that. You have to have a minimum of a 10-second kiss every day. And that's what I say about hugs. You need to hug more than just a hug and a, hi, honey, I'm home. You need to get into that hug. You need to feel it. You need to smell it. You need to, feel the warmth. Yeah, you need to just get it. And don't just have hi.
Yeah, enough with that nonsense.
No.
Through the motion BS. Get fired up about it. When you see your partner, take them in.
Yeah. You tell them.
I mean, right? Stop taking life for granted. We may not be here tomorrow, guys. Have fun with it. Get excited about it.
Just because you kiss with tongue doesn't mean you have to go get laid. You could just come home, grab your partner, passionately kiss them. That is sex appeal for sure. And then just go about your dinner and you're just kind of like, whoa, that was hot.
Well, actually, I do get fired up about this topic because you just reminded me of something. Listen, you are responsible for you. And if you don't get fired up about life, nobody else will. If you don't get fired up about your partner, nobody else will. So you've got to make it a practice of how you're going to spend time together. So one of the things David and I do is we do an eye engagement exercise. And we'll just look at each other and stare into each other's eyes.
A lot of people can't do that.
We do that 3 to 4 times a week. Coach Rochelle gave me that idea, actually. And it's a good connection exercise.
Right.
What do you think? What are some other connection exercises you like?
Well, I think it starts with looking at each other. A lot of people cannot look at each other. They lay in bed, and instead of taking that time to just lay there in bed and look at each other, automatically they'll start kissing and making out and trying to get into the thing. Sometimes it's nice to sit there and look at each other. You can give each other a nice little peck, but talk to each other face to face. So many people I talk to, they don't lay in bed together and they don't talk like that.
I agree. If you can't look at somebody in the eye, then I think there's a block there, don't you think?
Yeah. There's definitely a block.
Well, you guys can download Dr. Stacy Friedman's incredible book, Confessions and Lessons of a Sexpert, right on her website, drstacyfriedman.com. I mean, this is an incredible opportunity to read more and learn her laws of sex. And it's an amazing read that you can read multiple times. and learn a lot. How long did it take you to write this book?
That was about a 6-month endeavor.
That's a long time. And of course, if anybody wants to consult with Dr. Friedman, you can call her at 561-899-7669 or email Dr. Stacy at stacy@drstacy.org or visit her website at drstacyfriedman.com. So what else? How do you want to, the show went so fast tonight.
Everybody likes sex appeal. Basically, you know, my law of sex today is putting on your best face and your personality, which will help you exude your own sex appeal. I mean, it's all about who you are inside. Like Sophia Loren said, 50% of it is what you got, and the other 50% is what people think you got. So my passion is to help you create yours. I do a lot of dating coaching, a lot of sex coaching, intimacy coaching. So for people who are looking to get a little help on bringing out their own sex appeal, feel free to reach out to me and we can work on helping you get the love and affection that you want and need and desire. So reach out and I am here for you all.
Well, this was a really great episode of The Laws of Sex. Join us every Thursday night at 7 o'clock. And Dr. Stacy Friedman, you are amazing. Also remember to join Dr. Friedman's group, Sex,
It's
Intimacy.
the women's group, Intimacy, Sex, and Empowerment on Facebook for women.
All right. Everybody have a great night, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Take care.